Hi, my name is Vanderdonck, and I'm from Troop 8845, and my Girl Scout Gold Award is to create a stretching and conditioning program for Pop Warner cheerleaders throughout the United States. Cheerleaders should stretch and condition before any physical activity to prevent injuries, to ensure the muscles' flexibility and endurance, and to keep cheerleaders performing at peak levels. In this video, my sister Brooke will be demonstrating the positioning of the exercises, which are the same for all ages, but the amount of repetitions for time for each exercise only applies to the older group of Pop Warner girls. So our first position is the position 1 lunge stretch. So for this lunge, it's a low lunge, and her front knee is directly over her heel. Her back leg is in line with her hip and straight. This should count to 10, and she would do 2 sets on right and 2 sets on left. The next thing is the position 2 lunge stretch. So her front knee is slightly in front of her ankle. She's grabbing her back leg on the outside of her foot, and she's pressing it down toward her quad. This would be 1 set on right and 1 set on left, and she would count to 10. The next is the position 3 lunge stretch. So one leg is in front of her hip, the other is behind the hip. The front leg is straight, her back leg is bent, and her hips are square, and she's reaching for the ground. She sits onto her back leg and foot. Then the next thing is a position 4 lunge stretch. So she would count to 10 in this position. Both legs are straight, her back is straight, and it's over her front leg. She would count to 10 and do 1 set on right and 1 set on left. Next thing she would do is her splits. So right now she would do her right splits, or her left splits. So her toes pointed on both sides, her hips are square, and her legs are both straight. And she would do the same for her right leg as well. The next thing she would do is her straddle stretch. So again, to straddle. Toes are always pointed, and she would go to her right with her chest facing forward towards out. And the next thing she would do is her nose toward her knee and her chest down. Then she would hold each of those for 10 seconds and do the same thing on the left. So she holds that for 10 seconds, and now nose to knee. She holds that for 10 seconds. And now she goes toward the center, and she holds it for 10 seconds. The goal is to get your chest toward the floor. Okay, the next thing she would do is her middle splits. So from this, she rolls into her middle splits, and her knees are facing outward, and her chest is toward the floor, and her toes are always pointed. The next thing is squats. So this is part of the conditioning. So her knees are over her toes are faced forward, her arms are directly out in front of her, and her feet are a little bit further from shoulder distance. And so do 1 squat. She keeps her back straight, and she puts her butt out and squeezes her stomach. The next thing is, you do 30 sets, 30 sets split into 2 groups. Then the next thing is hollow holds. So for hollow hold, she's engaging her stomach, her back is a little bit off the floor, her toes are pointed. Perfect. Then she would hold this for 100 seconds. The next thing is a push-up hold. So for your push-up hold, her shoulders are directly underneath, her butt is squeezed, her back is down, her stomach is squeezed. She would hold this for 100. The next thing is V-sits. So she'd get on her back. This has 3 parts to it. She would, for V-sits, she would do about 40 of these. So what she does, first position is the same as the hollow hold. Then she goes to position 2. Her back is straight, her knees are squeezed in, she's still engaging her stomach. Then position 3, her legs are straight, back still straight, and then she'd come back down and then go to position 1 again. That counts as 1 set. Then the next thing she would do is V-ups. So she would do 15 reps of V-ups. So she starts in hollow hold and then goes up, keeping her back straight and back down. And she keeps her arms by her sides. Then the next thing is mountain climbers. So she would do 30 reps of mountain climbers. And when she's squatting, she has to make sure that her knees are aligned and that her knee never touches the ground. And now as she jumps, her legs meet in the air, and then she goes to the other side. So that counts as one set. So she would do 30 of those. The next thing is superheroes. So she lays on her stomach. She puts her arms out in front of her and lifts them up as high as she can, and she lifts her feet off the ground as high as she can and squeeze her stomach. She would count to 50 for that. Perfect. The next thing is a bridge. So for this bridge, she would count to 50. She has to make sure her weight is on her arms, her heels are flat, and her arms are straight. So see how she's pushing her weight onto her shoulders? Perfect. Okay, you can come down. The next thing is pike-ups. So she would do 60 reps of these. She lays on her back, she puts her arms by her sides, and she lifts her feet up and down. That counts as one set, but she never lets her feet hit the floor. Okay, then the next thing is the planche push-up hold. So for this, her arms are out, her hands are facing out, she's bending her arms, and she's at a 90-degree angle. Perfect. Just like that. And she would hold it there for 50 seconds. Next thing is toe touch drills. So we also call these T-kicks often. So you have to be in toe touch position. She would kick 10 right and 10 left. So she frees her hip down and under. She squeezes with her butt and leans with her toes. Perfect. Then the next thing is, these are partner stretches now. So first thing is reverse splits. So she would lie on her back, and she would put one leg up into the air, and I hold this leg down. She grabs her leg and pulls it towards her face, and I push it down toward her face. Just like that. So she would do 2 sets on each side and hold each for 20 seconds. Then the next is straddle stretch, partner stretch. So this is similar to what we did earlier, but since you have a partner, you'll be able to go further down and it'll give you a better stretch. So I push down on the small of her back, and she's trying to get her chest and her body down toward the floor. Perfect. Then the next and final thing is a heel stretch. So she would stand up and face me and give me her leg and put it on my shoulder, and I'd step into her so her shoulder and her leg are almost touching. So what she'd do for this is she'd hold for 25 seconds, 2 sets on right and 2 sets on left. Thank you for listening.